Welcome to the American Woodshop. I'm Suzy Phillips.
And I'm Scott Phillips with Bear and Pippi. And today we're getting into the world of scroll saw art, so don't go anywhere.
The American Woodshop with Scott Phillips is brought to you by
Woodcraft, since 1928, providing traditional and modern woodworking tools and supplies to generations of craftsmen. Woodcraft, helping you make wood work.
Pro Tools, for tool pros. Rikon Tools.
Woodcraft Magazine. Projects, plans, and web links designed to help you make wood work. P.S. Wood, home of Timberwolf Swedish silicon steel bandsaw blades and super sharp scroll saw blades. A bed to sleep on. A table to share meals. A house that feels like a home. The Furniture Bank of Central Ohio, providing furniture to neighbors in need.
Today it's all about what you can do with a scroll saw and the right blade. And Suzy, tell us about your project.
Well, I'm working on a tiger, and I love tigers. I know you love eagles. We all have our thing, but it's just a fun little project, and the scroll saw's easy and fun to use. A few simple techniques, and you're on your way.
Okay, and so she's a master at it, and of course we get our inspiration from our dogs. Off they go. But sign making. Don't go out and buy signs, make your own. I'll show you how to cut the letters with a router, handheld, and this pattern is from an old show right here, the Eagle pattern, inspired by Judy Gale Roberts. This is one of her patterns that I've turned into a weather vane. How can you beat that? You know, again, those are scroll saw projects.
Right.
So, Suzy, let's see your tips on how you cut out your tiger.
All right.
And once you understand that, we'll get into the world of sign making. Let's head inside.
All right,
oh, by the way, what do you think of the new open-air woodshop?
Oh, I
kinda
love
surprised
it. It's awesome.
you. Okay,
Yep.
did I do okay?
You did great.
Okay. Whew. Okay,
Let's go.
Let's get inside. I love my wife because she is so creative. Look at this.
thank you.
Okay, she's
Very
going to
sweet.
show you a piercing cut through that tiny hole right there in the pattern. And where'd you get the pattern?
From this book. There's so many great pattern books out there, but I love tigers, and they had some really good ones. So
And she just wood burned this. How long did that take you?
I did this in a night, actually. Yeah.
Okay, and so you can use the scroll saw patterns for wood burning. I mean, that just comes to life. Wait till
Yeah,
you
I just
see
thought
the
it'd be
finish.
fun to try.
Okay, and then to do this pattern, it's on 3/8 inch thick basswood that holds detail. It's a soft hardwood. And whatever you do, be sure to read, understand, and follow the instructions that come with tools and products you use in your wood shop. Work safely, right?
Right,
You have your
absolutely.
safety glasses.
I do. And once you find your pattern, just make a copy, use spray adhesive, and before that, just do some contact paper down. That way when you're done, you can peel it off and you don't have the adhesive on your wood.
Temporary bonding.
Yeah.
They have permanent bond. Don't use
Oh,
that
no.
stuff. That would make your life
That would be
miserable.
bad.
So buy it the right way, and then you spray the temporary bonding spray adhesive on the back of your paper pattern, put it on top of that, and then it peels off without leaving residue behind that would contaminate the
Right.
finish. Okay, and then one other thing is, whenever you're doing a piercing cut, you have to drill holes for the blade to go through. So now pierce that number 5
for me.
blade right
Alrighty,
through there.
and then we'll get to work.
Okay, and this is dust collection on demand, so when she has the blade right and turns it on, it pulls the sawdust away.
Right.
Not that this makes a ton of sawdust, but it's fine powder. and you
No,
don't
it
want to
really
breathe
doesn't.
that.
A lot of these you'll see the sawdust coming out, and I don't. So it's great. So we'll just click that in. Sounds
There you
good.
go,
Got some
high
good
C
tension.
pitch.
Yep.
And wait, there's more. These blades are so delicate. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a number
okay.
5.
It's a number 5, 12.5 teeth per inch,
Right.
high quality steel. And when you put the blade in, these don't have reverse teeth. You feel the blade, and right now you get resistance. That means those teeth are pointing down. Now, if you pet the blade and there's no resistance, the teeth are pointing down, which is the way they have to be. So it holds the wood to the workpiece. So now you have plenty of tension, and give us your cutting tips, Suzy.
Just have fun, take it easy, and use all sides of the blade. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna spin this around and I'll go right in here, kind of what I was talking about, then back out. And then you can come back in. And then when you want to spin it around, always keep pressure down on the table where it's not running off on you. And just follow the line and go around and go in there. Like here, I can just kind of hold, and then you just pivot and right in that cut. And then just take your time, keep pressure down, and just make your cuts.
You know, as Americans, we're in such a hurry these days, and the number one tip I have for every woodworker, doesn't matter what you do, is slow way down. Because
Absolutely.
if you slow down, in this case, that tiny set, that's the valley between the teeth, that's carrying away the sawdust, has a chance to clear itself. If you go too fast, you're jamming that blade up and the sawdust isn't clearing it, it's not going to cut effectively. So
Right.
slow down. Now the blade is square to the table, which is how we're getting perfect resistance-free cuts. If you tilt the head to angle the blade, the table doesn't tilt on this one, it's the arm that does. You can do interlocking pieces. You'll see more on that a little later on.
just that little piece wasn't popping out. I'll get it out of the way, and then I can keep on going.
Okay, so
Thank
she's
you.
going to work on that pattern. And by the way, Suzy, I have this eagle pattern that I started.
Oh, nice.
For
I
the
love
sign
it.
that I'm going to make,
Oh,
okay?
he's trying to compete.
Well, no, because you're going to finish it for me.
I
yes.
walked right into that one.
Okay, she did. So you go ahead and finish your
Okay.
cuts. You know some tips. Now, outside we go, and I'll show you how to route letters for a sign. Sign making, it's so much fun. Full safety glasses, side shields here when we're doing routing work, and this is not plugged in yet, but look at that tiny tip on that bit. That's a pattern maker's bit for CNCs, and it's solid carbide. And then if you look at this, this is a guide bushing locked into the router base. And my good carving friend in California, Raymond Kidman, he does this all freehand. I don't trust myself quite as much as Ray. You can do it freehand, but I'm going for a level of precision here when doing these letters that bushing is going to right up against this scroll sawn R. That's 3/8 of an inch in thickness. And so I take double-sided tape and I use scissors to cut that down so that I don't have a lot of extra hanging out because I don't want it to come up the bit. And I just eyeball in where I want that letter R and line it up. And that looks good, and good solid pressure down on top of the same shelving paper that's a temporary bond, but it's aggressive enough to stay there. It just gives you a better purchase of that letter, and that's there to stay. I'm going to clear the deck here and get my hearing protection on. Wrenches away, nothing on the work surface, and I will push that guide bushing up against going in a clockwise fashion. I'm going to route the outside and then I'll do the inside. And once I do that, you won't be able to see what I'm doing, unfortunately, because the bushing will ride against the side of that letter. But once I'm done routing, you'll see me take it out, then just use a palm chisel to true up the cut, just a hair. So don't even think about doing this without hearing protection. This is loud. It's turned off. I'll plug it in, I'll make those cuts. Sign making. Make your own. Okay, here we go. When I fire it up, you'll see that. Then I'll push this edge of the guide bushing up against that letter and route away. The key is don't lift that router until it comes to a complete stop for safety. And let's see what we've got. I think we're in good shape. That'll come right off. And now what I can do is just use a hand chisel to open that up. That looks good. And I can true this up by just a little bit of chisel work. And that's all there is to it. So let's take a look. Let's see how this all comes off. Man, can't wait. This is always the exciting part. Here we go. This is an old piece of fur that was from a barn that a good friend of mine, Joe Drapp, gave me. He said, Scott, I can't wait to see what you'll make with this. Well, Joe, this will be a Woodshop sign that will be up for years. And now this stuff, this old wood with this paper is making it a slow boat to China to get off. So I'll get all this cleaned up and then we'll go inside and hopefully Suzy will have those accent pieces done for this. So that's it, sign making. Don't make it hard. Make your own letter templates and have fun with it and use recycled wood. Oh, by the way, speaking of recycling, there's an amazing thing going on in our community. We're opening up a new arts center where it just so happens there's going to be a wood shop. Imagine that. So the American Woodshop's going to make sure of that. But let's go see that story before we finish this sign. We're here in front of the new Piqua Arts Council building. Mike McCorkle, Jordan Nepper. What a beauty this is. My gosh, guys. And what's your vision for this building now?
We really felt that Piqua needed a home for the arts and somewhere where we could really celebrate arts education. So we're going to transform this space into an art center.
Okay, and of course we're going to have a wood lathe in here. Okay, from the American Woodshop. At least there'll probably be some other woodworking tools in here, right?
Probably.
Okay, good. Now, this whole project is 14,000 square feet plus and classic architecture. How old's the building?
So the building was built in the really late 1800s, somewhere in the 1890s or early 1900s.
Oh, so this has roots. Why would you tear something like this down, for goodness sake? Now, let's go see what's going to happen on the inside. So this is a beehive around here. They're getting to it. Now, out of this space, we're looking at the first floor. There are 3 floors here. What of this space is your favorite zone?
Well, really the flex space gives us a lot of opportunity to do a lot of different things. So we don't want this building to just be the visual arts, but we want the visual, the performing arts, we want culinary arts and literary arts to be represented. And this space is going to allow us to do all of those different things.
Well, see, here's the main stage right there, and that's where the wood lathe is going because it's going to be very important part of the art connection to woodworking in the area.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the walls are coming out right now. You got a great crew working on that. When will you actually have it ready to build out?
So our anticipation is to start the build out phase in late 2023.
Okay, late 2023. A lot of work ahead of us. Now, let's go on upstairs and see what Mike's up to and see that space.
All right.
In every community, we have a Jordan, we have a Mike. But I gotta shake your hands because seriously, guys, to pull together the funding for this project, literally my hat's off to you because around America, we all need spaces like this. Don't tear it down. We have enough parking space. Let's restore it, America. Way to go, guys. I'll be back when it's done.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see that finished new Piqua Arts Council's building. It's going to be spectacular. Now, speaking of the arts, the reveal, Suzy. Let's see your tiger here.
Yeah.
Peel it here. I'll hold this corner down.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Get these edges off
Okay.
and start pulling. Well, it looks
And
like
this is solid wood.
And this is much better than if I was just peeling the paper with adhesive. This contact paper really does
Save
help.
you.
Yeah. There we go.
Solid wood.
Finally.
Boy, that is gorgeous.
Got it?
Yeah.
A little piece in there.
That's amazing, Suzy.
I love it. It's
Nicely
cool.
done.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the finish?
Oh, I'm gonna do a nice golden oak finish.
Okay.
These tigers are gold.
There you
Black and
go.
gold.
All right. Well, we'll see that at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Now, let's get back to making that sign. Can you believe Suzy's going to make me do my own scrolling on my eagle? You'll see more on that in a second. I'll give you my pointers. Now, I'm just using a veiner to add accents, hand-carved accents to these routed letters, working with the grain. And I took the liberty of using Tuscan milk paint, my favorite, very durable stuff. And I love the barn red color of the American Woodshop. Now, we need the eagle pattern for right here, and we'll get onto that in a second. But why should you get a scroll saw? How do you use it? You're learning how. But look behind me, right here. You can do names, okay, which are great presents for people in their family. And look, those letters pop out, and that's called a bevel cut. You tilt the table to 3 degrees on a 3/4 inch thick workpiece. You then do what are called bevel cuts, and the pieces move in and out depending on whether you cut clockwise or counterclockwise. And then Jim Foster made this 3D pattern for us, and you go, well, that's amazing. Suzy made these, painted them, but let me break this one down. Out of recycled wood, you cut channels with a dado head or just a single blade and make multiple passes, and then you cut those at 45-degree angles. Whoop, timber, okay, and you frame out your scroll sawn pieces. There's one piece cut out, here's the middle piece, and then there's the backdrop. And you can create these wonderful 3D images by doing these cuts with a scroll saw. So much fun. And when you do make multiple passes on your wood to frame it, sometimes you end up with little pieces of wood hanging on because you didn't make the right number of passes. And there's always a way to make things work out. Bevel down. Use a good sharp chisel, watch the splinters, and you make it right. There's always a way to outsmart a piece of wood. Now, let's head over to the scroll saw, and I'll give you my tips on how to get the most fun out of it that you can, and we'll cut that eagle out. Now, if you look closely, you can see that that pattern is bouncing around quite a bit. Now watch this. I'm just going to pivot on the blade. Isn't that amazing? And you can only do that because the blade is properly tensioned, and I come back in on the beak, and the whole white area gets cut away. I'm just going to cut on the outside edge of the dark pattern, and you give that blade plenty of time to carry away the sawdust. And this will cut wood up to 2 inches thick. Now, the guard has been removed for clarity so that you can see these cuts. We always use the guard, and you should too, okay? But today, you need to be able to see exactly how precisely you can follow that cut line. I learned this little trick from Pat Spielman, who might just have been the best scroll sawer I've ever seen, with the exception of a scroller named Jim up in Michigan. Thank you, Jim, for all your great tips over the years. And his wife, Nora, God bless them. But anyways, when I come to tips, the white area is a waist, so I can come out into the waist zone, holding it down. I pivot 360 degrees, and I can put back pressure on the blade, and then I can come in and do those fine points, just like that. And the scroll saw is the only woodworking tool that you can back out of the cut with it running. It's fair. In fact, that's a necessary skill. Now watch this tiny little piece. As I swing into that void, the vacuum just carries it away. So take your time, make all these cuts, and just have fun. And when the blade starts to fight you, replace it. Meaning they do wear out. Even though they don't break, you'll have to refresh it. Just be creative on your cutting. So I'll just finish this out, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do on the outside. Something a little different. No sense in making things hard, because with this scroll saw, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you give that blade a chance to carry away the sawdust. Now watch this. What I can do is take that bit of scrap away, and I can take this little bit of scrap away. Okay, and then you can start to see the silhouette of the eagle really shining, okay? And now along the edge, I can go in and get all the head feathers cut in without being in a bind. And that's just thinking creatively. So I'll get those cut in. Then I'm going to do a bevel cut on the outside. Here's the cut we've all been waiting for, the last one. And we're going to cut on the outside edge of that oval, taking our time. And I'm doing a piercing cut here. And the head is actually tilted at 2.5 degrees and locked in place down here on the trunnion. And that will give us a bevel cut, so this will pop out of the board and lock in, and it'll be magic. So let's get this done. And then we'll get to see the completed eagle, and it will be ready to become a golden color, just like Suzy's tiger. I'm using the flat of the blade to help keep it on a straight course like a rudder on a ship. If you see any variations on the cut, it's because the workpiece itself is of varying thicknesses. This is a piece of scrap wood, hard maple. And the other thing is, if I haven't said it before, hold it down to the table for control. This is my guiding hand, my dominant hand. The other hand is my pivot hand. And this is of varying thickness. We'll get this cut out, and then you'll see the pieces locked together. So much fun. So easy to do. Okay, we're back full circle. It's free now. And I'm going to release the tension, release this, ease the work pieces out. And first off, we get to take this off. Oh, that is so cool. And I left it rough because I will touch it up with a little bit of sandpaper first, lightly, because I would like that fuzzy surface. And when I put the golden oak on that, that will look really cool. And that looks great on its own. But let's do this now with the bevel cut. And if everything has gone correctly, it all pops out and locks in just like that. How cool is that? So I'll get that glued up and then get the golden oak finish on it, and we'll get to see the final completed projects. That's looking so cool.
All right, this is exciting.
It's the golden moment, as it were.
Yes.
We're using golden oak Danish oil, and we have a tray. And go ahead, Suzy. Let's see what you've got. And this is going to be the new home of my eagle on the American Woodshop sign. And once this finish dries in 2 days, I just use clear silicone and bond it in place, and it's there to stay. That's a great adhesive. Wow. I'm not going to use this frame. What do you think, Suzy?
Oh, I love it. It's perfect. The golden oak for your eagle and the golden oak for my tiger. Ooh, really gets in those nooks and crannies. That's a good technique. Thank you.
Okay, now let me see that just for 1 second. And I want to show everyone just how magical my wife is. She can do absolutely anything, and this proves it. So
very
get
sweet.
out there
Thank you.
and enjoy your scroll saw. What's the most important tip on scrolling?
Just have fun.
Yeah.
Just have fun.
Okay, well that's it for this week. See you next week. Join us in the American Woodshop.
See ya.
Boy, that's gorgeous. That's alive.
Definitely.
Woodcraft since 1928, providing traditional and modern woodworking tools and supplies to generations of craftsmen. Woodcraft, helping you make wood work.
Pro Tools. For tool pros. Rikon Tools.
Woodcraft Magazine. Projects, plans, and web links designed to help you make wood work. P.S. Wood, home of Timberwolf Swedish silicon steel bandsaw blades and super sharp scroll saw blades. A bed to sleep on. A table to share meals. A house that feels like a home. The Furniture Bank of Central Ohio, providing furniture to neighbors in need.
For more information on tips behind the American Woodshop and watch free episodes 24/7, check us out online and like us on Facebook.